Hey y'all, it's Amanda, and today we're in the backyard, and I am continuing to work bed by bed through my gardens, preparing them for late summer and fall. I just walked through a spider web right there, so that's me freaking out that I've got it on me. And this last couple of weeks have been pretty mild, but this next week's we are going into triple degree temperatures over and over and over again. So it's going to be pretty brutal. So I'm getting outside while I can. Now, this bed right here has a lot going on in it. It has self-seeded zinnias and sunflowers. It also has a number of dahlia tubers, but we're going to start by doing a cleanup of this area so that we can fill this with a variety of sunflowers for the fall. Okay, let's talk about dahlias. I have a number of dahlias here. Everywhere you see a stake is a dahlia tuber, and they actually had a beautiful spring and early summer. And then once the heat hit, they really started to struggle. However, they are not dead. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting them back to where I see a new set of fresh leaves. I'm getting rid of all the tall top growth and just getting them to focus on a little bit of growth and surviving the hottest parts of the summer at this point. So we'll see how those do. I do plan on lifting these dahlia tubers in the fall so that I can replant them for the spring. But once again, just going through, cutting them back and prepping them to be able to go through all this triple degree temperatures, and hopefully, fingers crossed, they have enough time to grow back and give me some fresh blooms for the fall. Now this tuber right here I pulled up because I thought the whole thing was dead, but then I discovered it had a lot of green growth under the soil surface, so I am going to go ahead and plant it back in. Now, once I clean out a bed, I like to go through it and just rub my hands across the surface of all of the soil in the space. It gives me an opportunity just to see what's going on with the soil, remove any last weeds, anything along those lines. But I highly suggest anytime you clean out a space, just taking the time to really look. Now, I did decide to dig up these perennials right here. These are Veronica that I grew from seed, and I've had them a few years now, and they've never really gotten to a place where I enjoy harvesting them. So if I don't enjoy them, they're not going to take up space in my garden. So I'm going to go ahead and dig those up and remove them, and clearing space for other flowers. Now right here I have tickled pink petunias that I grew from seed. These are kind of climbing petunias, or vining petunias I should say. However, petunias do not do great once we get really hot. So I'm cutting these back by probably 75%. I've cut this particular variety back before and it's done pretty well, which is great. So I'm going to give them a little cut back, but also I'm making room to be able to plant some cantaloupe seeds in both of these containers and have the cantaloupe grow up over this arch. I did that a couple of seasons ago and loved it, and I would love some fresh cantaloupe later on in the season. And then I'm also pulling out some Queen Anne's lace or chocolate Dara that you see over here. This reseeds itself every season, and this last few seasons I've been working hard to reduce it. So some of it has gone to seed, but I'm not going to allow it to continue to go to seed. I'll go ahead and pull it all out. That way I can prevent the seed from spreading everywhere. But I really did enjoy having a smaller patch of this last year. It's been really lovely, and it is so easy to pull out when the time comes. Now I did add compost to this bed at the beginning of the season, but for now I'm going to go ahead and add in plant tone and some worm castings. These are just two things that I had on hand. The plant tone is a really good, just kind of generalized organic fertilizer that's a slow release. And then earthworm castings are great for building the quality of your soil and adding in nutrients as well. And from there, I'm going to be adding in two varieties of sunflowers. This first one are Teddy Bear sunflowers, which I absolutely love. I'm going to be making sure that I'm planting them 1 inch deep, and I'm going to plant them below a emitter in my drip line so that I know that they will be consistently watered throughout the season. So you can see me looking for each of the emitters and then dropping a couple of seeds in each of those holes. Let's grow a sunflower that's as adorable as its name. Teddy Bear sunflower produces fluffy, fully double golden yellow blooms that resemble giant pom-poms. Growing 2 to 3 feet tall, it thrives in full sun and is perfect for containers, borders, and cutting gardens. Next, I'm switching over to ProCut plum sunflowers, and I love growing these for the fall. ProCuts are great flowers for harvesting for arrangements because they grow one long straight stem with one large bloom at the top. They're absolutely lovely. And once again, I'm using the same method. I'm planting these 1 inch deep underneath each emitter in this bed. If you love unique cut flowers, ProCut Plum Sunflower is a must grow. It features deep burgundy petals with plum undertones surrounding a dark center on sturdy pollen-free stems. Growing 5 to 6 feet tall, it thrives in full sun and is a favorite for bouquets. Now I am installing my fence back in to make sure that my local armadillo does not come and dig up all these precious seedlings once they get started. Now I am watering everything in really well, and watering is going to be the hard part going into this really hot weather. And that's why I was very specific on where I place these seeds directly under the emitters. That will help me out throughout, but I will need to come out here on a daily basis, if not twice a day, to keep watering these seeds until they finally sprout. It's super important that they do not dry out prior to germination. Next, I'm shifting over to planting some cantaloupe seeds, specifically Hale's Best Jumbo Cantaloupe, and I've grown this variety before and had great success with it. And actually, I've grown it directly over this exact trellis, which was really fun. So I'm popping a few of these into each of these containers. I did amend these containers with plant tone and with the earthworm castings as well, and I will water these in really well as well. Let's grow a classic heirloom melon. Hale's Best Jumbo produces large, heavily nutted fruits with sweet, juicy orange flesh that are perfect for summer harvests. This vigorous vine spreads 6 to 8 feet and thrives in full sun, produces delicious melons in about 85 to 90 days. All right, and there's today's work in the garden, about 45 minutes outside. I feel really good about starting another round of sunflowers and getting these cantaloupe melons on their way. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Be sure to check out my Patreon community if you're interested. And as always, she's a mad gardener or a decorator or anything else that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.